Why do salespeople believe that they don't have to learn communication before they get their sales job? It's like, I'm going to learn it when I get there. Well, that's why you're going to suck in the beginning. My questions are very small, but they're very concise and powerful. You can't do that by telling them their side is wrong, because they're just going to get defensive.
Yeah. Sales is not a numbers game. It's a game of skill. And I love that about you because I'm on the same philosophy.
Yeah. They're literally thrown in an environment where most of them will fail because of they were never taught or educated before they started the job.
I agree.
You know, what the two biggest emotional drivers that causes a human being to want to change are actually pain and the fear of future pain. So if you can't help a prospect relive their pain, they feel no need to change. That's why they don't buy. That's the whole core of it.
I hear so many calls, I pull calls, and I listen to live calls. And inexperienced salespeople, they bring their personal belief into the sales call.
That is very true.
And I tell them all the time, would you rather be right or would you rather get paid?
Yeah, but you would be right or would you rather make the sale?
Right.
Two different things.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you don't understand. I don't like Trump. And the guy was all about Trump.
Yeah.
Who cares? What's your mission?
You've won the battle, but you lost the sale.
Right.
So you really lost.
Right.
Yeah.
And can you change that?
You can, because I tell some of my executives, same thing. I'm like, well, do you want to like be right or do you want to get your team on board? Because those are two different things.
Right.
Like, do you want to prove that you're right and they're wrong, or do you want them to get on board with your vision of where you want to take the department?
Right.
Those are two very different things. Because if I just argue with someone and let's say I prove that I'm right, it doesn't mean like, oh, you're so right. Oh my gosh. It'd be like a Republican and Democrat arguing with each other about some policy. It's like, yeah, did the Republican really convince the Democrat? Like, you're completely right. I'm changing sides. I'm going to go register as a Republican tomorrow and vice versa. Like, it doesn't work. Like, they just dig in their heels more. They get more defensive. And that's in politics. There's just a really lack of communication skills. They don't understand how to communicate. They just fight at each other and then everybody stays the same. Like, nobody really moves, right? I'm waiting for the political candidate like a Ronald Reagan that could come in and like influence the other side because of his communication skills and get them to vote for him just because he was likable. Like, they trusted he'd get a better result even if they were on the other side. You know, politicians, very few are like that. You know, Obama was one as well, where they could reach across the aisle and maybe get a little bit of the other side. Right now, it's like everybody's like 50-50, and it's like, we'll figure out who wins in the 10,000 votes difference in Georgia, you know, next month or whatever. It's like so awkward. And I'm like, you guys aren't trying to, like, when you call each other names, you're like, oh, those liberals or all those crazy MAGA people.
Yeah.
Well, all you're doing is just alienating the other side.
That's right.
You never look at your policies.
Yes.
If you simply said like, you know, I really appreciate, this person's policies with this and this, the way they do that. The only thing I would tweak is that I might do this, this, and this. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to start getting people from the other side, maybe not the 25% that are loyal to the death, but there's like that other 30% on the other side that if you did that type of stuff, they're like, oh, that's a really good point. So they're not digging their heels in that you're bashing their person. You're saying that you actually like a lot of this. The only thing you might do different would be this and this and that, but that's a really good idea. And now that you start to pull them a little bit closer to you.
Would you say that's going back to pattern interrupt?
A lot of pattern interrupts. It's just about disarming the prospects. It's okay. So let's say you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, doesn't matter. You have a frame, a certain way of thinking. So if you're a politician, you have to take that audience out of that frame, out of that way of thinking. You deframe them and reframe them into a new way of thinking. You can't do that by telling them their side is wrong because they're just going to get defensive. And it's over. I don't understand. Politicians have not learned this stuff yet.
What's more important, and we're on this topic, always bring value or always disarm the person?
Disarming the prospect. Because if you can't disarm the prospect, they'll never listen to the value. The guard's up. If I can't get the prospect to let their guard down on their surface level, they never open up emotion. So they never take the...
Can we role play?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's just say I'm a client and I want to buy internet services from Verizon. Okay. And you call me and I say, I hate Verizon.
I wonder what I would have said that would have triggered you to say I hate Verizon.
As soon as you said, hey, I'm a sales executive giving you a call on behalf of Verizon.
What industry do you...
Telecommunications.
Telecommunications. And they're like, oh, I hate Verizon. Oh, what actually happened? Were you with us at one point, or what actually happened? So look, instantly my tone goes soft, and it's a concern tone, a tone that shows empathy. That lowers your guard a little bit. And like, oh, well, why would you hate Verizon? Like, we're a really good company. And you're going to prove them right, but you're going to lose the battle. So I'm like, oh, what actually happened? Were you with Verizon in the past? Or what actually happened, sir? Lowered the tone. So, and then instantly their tone starts to come down and they might say something else. I'm like, oh, what actually happened with that? And I get them to clarify and almost almost tell me all their problems. Like, oh gosh, I'm surprised you'd even take my phone call. You get angry at me over here. I'd get angry too. And then I go into a reframe.
I tell people all the time their client on the other end wants to vent, and you have to be able to give them an opportunity to talk.
Yeah.
So that way they can let go of the pain.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a psychiatrist. Like, oh, what actually happened? Were you thriving in the past, or what actually happened, sir? Oh, yes, I was, and they were doing this. Like, oh my goodness gracious. Jeez, I can see why you're angry. You'd be cussing me out of the phone here. Somebody else called you from Brighton. You're just, you're letting them like spill their stress or their pain. And then when it's out of there, now they're a little bit more open.
Yeah. You're a highly, believer in sales is not a numbers game. It's a game of skill.
Yes.
Okay. And I love that about you because I'm on the same philosophy.
Yeah.
However, do you think for you to first understand what does this person bring to the table as a salesperson, first I got to let him do some volume to see where I need to tweak, what I need to do.
Sure.
How long does that take as a sales coach for you to identify, okay, 2 months, 1 month, 90 days?
I think the first problem is there is a myth that, I look at salespeople. Why is it an industry that has the highest attrition rate out of any industry in the world? It's because it's the only industry where you were never educated about your profession before you start. That's why. Think about it. Think about any profession. Neurosurgeon, how many years?
Minimum
before they do one surgery.
Oh, yeah, minimum 10.
Exactly. Imagine a neurosurgeon. If you had no training, how much confidence would you be as a brain surgeon without any training before you started the job? Imagine a police officer. No training. Hey, good luck. We're going to stick you outside there, in East St. Louis. And I'm from Missouri. Like, good luck, just figure it out. Just dodge it, if something shoots you, just dodge around. Or like you're in the military, no training. We're just going to take you out in a chopper and drop you off in the middle of Afghanistan. Like, make sure if somebody shoots at you, you duck. You'd be killed without the training. So why do salespeople believe, why do business owners, and why do salespeople believe that they don't have to learn sales, like communication, before they get their sales job? It's like, I'm going to learn it when I get there. Well, that's why you're going to suck in the beginning. And that's the whole society. If we learn like even basic communication skills or sales 101 courses 3-4 months before we first get hired as a job, attrition rates would be cut in half because they actually already conceptualize and understand it when they first get the job. So they start making sales when they start rather than like, I'm green, I don't know anything.
Right.
And they're literally thrown in an environment where most of them will fail because of just they were never taught or educated before they started the job.
I agree.
That's the biggest reason.
And to bring that point back that you discussed earlier about, do you buy from the people you like or the people that have the result? Let's just say your uncle just finished and he has not done one heart surgery. You need a heart surgery. Would you risk going under the knife with your uncle and being his first surgery, or would you go with somebody who's been doing it for 10 years?
It depends on the questions that surgeon actually asked you and how they made you feel.
Right.
That's what I'm going to say. Because let's say you didn't know those things. Like, it's not like they have their track record up on the wall. Like, I haven't done any surgery, and the other guy's like, I've done 70, 900 surgeries, and here's my success rate. Like, it's not like they have the stats on the wall. Like, oh, how many successful surgeries have you done compared to the people that died? Well, I've got an 81% conversion rate. Now, if that was on the wall, maybe you think differently, but that's not on the wall. So when you meet with a doctor, based on how the doctor makes you feel, based on the questions they ask, the tone they use, will pretty much decide where you're going to do that surgery.
Shouldn't you be the one asking questions?
You should. However, the doctor needs to be asking you questions because if the doctor wants to bring you on as a client or a patient, they need to know how to basically get you to relive your pain of the situation, like the heart and not getting it fixed, and then have a fear of future pain, heart attacks, strokes, right? And then you start to view them as an expert who can get you the best result because you feel that doctor, the uncle who's never done a surgery, actually understands your unique situation more than the guy that's been doing it for 10 years.
Extroverts on the phone.
It's called situational status.
Yeah, extroverts on the phone. They think it's more important to talk than listen.
That's why they don't sell much.
That's why they don't sell much, right? How much of the talking versus listening?
Probably 85-15. 85 listening and asking questions.
Yep.
15% talking.
And that's only possible if you know how to ask the right questions.
With the right tone.
With the right tone.
Yeah. So you could get somebody into like an emotional state. What the two biggest emotional drivers that causes a human being to want to change are actually pain and the fear of future pain. So if you can't help a prospect relive their pain and have a pain of their past history and then have a fear of future pain, they feel no need to change.
Yes.
When they feel no need to change, that's why you get lots of objections. That's why they don't buy. That's the whole core of it. So I can literally like listen. Oh, and how long ago did that actually happen? And I start talking for a minute. Oh, okay. So when that happens, has that had an impact on you? The questions are so short, but then the prospect spills everything because I'm controlling the conversation with my tone, because that tone I just used is kind of like a concerned tone. Like I'm concerned, I'm seeding creating doubt in their brain by how I use my tone. My questions are very small, but they're very concise and powerful, emotionally powerful. Now, you can't ask those 2 questions I just asked the first minute of a call because you're just like getting them to let their guard down. Those are more questions where you're probing and clarifying based off problems they've told you, right? Those are more in the middle of the conversation. But your tone is the main influence of how that prospect reacts to you, because your tone is how they interpret your intention behind the question.
Would you say when it comes to transactional sales or more relationship-based sales, does it matter?
What do you mean by, in your mind, what is a relationship sale?
It's a longer
Sales cycle?
Yeah, more than one small.
Like B2B.
Well, we do B2B, but a lot of our sales are transactional, right? We're selling internet, phone.
Yeah, right. It's a small.
But then we also go to enterprise and we sell enterprise.
It's not the cheaper the price point, less risk for the consumer or the company. Like if you're selling a company something that's $200 a month, easy decision. If you're selling a $10 million solution,
yes,
it's gonna go through more of their decision-making process.
That's right.